Everybody, it's February 22nd, right? Yep, 2018. This is episode number 26 of SEO Unmasked. We're always happy to have you with us tonight. I think we got a good main topic coming up. It's something that we see a lot in the industry, so stay tuned throughout the whole show. I'm Garrett Groff.
I'm Vin Deletto.
Steve Brownlee.
Yeah. Huh?
I think we made it through the introduction.
We did.
I thought I'd cut you a break this week, then. You look tired.
I'm really tired.
Anyways, so case study site. Finally gaining traction for keywords, and interestingly enough, it's not a lot of long tail stuff that you would think would be easy wins, and we haven't seen any easy wins, but we're starting to stick for, I don't want to say relatively competitive even, but keyword volumes in the 3, 4, 5, 600, something like that. So now that we're stuck, kind of make a link building plan and go through everything, especially now that I have a helper that actually helps.
You guys got
I mean, the biggest problem, to be honest, being clients keep ordering links, so like our capacity keeps getting used up, so we have to keep hiring more people, and then we're like, right, now we'll build some links to it. And then we get another order in, and we're like, oh, wow. We'll get around to this later, man.
I started Word Agents, so I was like, yeah, I'm just going to have this content team, and I'll use the money I make from that to fund my own sites, and I'll eventually not do Word Agents, and I'll have this huge portfolio of sites. But, the demand for content keeps coming in, and I can never, I never have time to buy my own content. I guess that's not a bad problem to have, right?
No. I mean, Ahrefs actually did us a favor in the end, because the new thing with the 3 metrics on all the reports is going down like amazingly well. People love it. It's more data. We're throwing away the odd link that would have been fine on Ahrefs alone. We're chucking them in for free now, and people are loving it. So Ahrefs messing up their domain rating score actually, despite 2 weeks of hell, has worked out really, really well for us. People love the Majestic citation flow being on there. So a big shout out to Majestic. I need a Majestic t-shirt to wear so I can really shit on Ahrefs. If any of you guys are watching, please send me a t-shirt. I won't even charge you. I mean, these guys paid $150,000 to get on the show. I won't even charge Majestic. You can just send me a free t-shirt and I'll wear it.
Cool. So how are we doing on donations? We got anything else? Or not?
I doubt it.
We sold a hoodie during some of the replay videos going up.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever, another $20 in the pot. I think when all the replays are up in a month or so, they've all dripped out, and all the speakers give their videos a final little push, I can see us getting another 1,000 views, and if we add another $500-600 on, pushes over 6,000, that'd be amazing. So if any of you have enjoyed it and you haven't donated a little bit yet, even $25 at this point will help, because it's just going to edge us closer to going over the 6, and that'll make us all feel a lot better about staying up for the 24 hours. And
does St. Jude's acknowledge the donation, or is it like way under their radar?
It's too small. Yeah, I think if we've done the 25K that we hoped, which we will do next year. I mean, with the help we've been offered next year, some of the speakers have offered to really do a lot of stuff next year to pre-promote it and help us. I think, with the first year, people were just like, are they actually going to show up? Are we going to really sit there for 24?
Yeah, I think a lot of people wrap their head around the concept and the format of the whole thing. But now that people know what it is, we should be pretty successful next year.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it next year. But yeah, I'm pleased with how it went. I mean, we got through it. We raised some good money, and the content's amazing that we've got to put out. So it's better than most SEO conferences, and it's free. So pretty awesome. I mean, some of the people shared just stuff I can't wait to watch again in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to be tearing apart Nick's video. I saw that you guys put that up.
Yep.
Work that into my content strategy.
Yeah.
The other big news this week, of course, is we've got a new logo. We spent the big money.
I should have put it on this video.
We should have done. we made the fingers a little bit fatter so they print nicer. So I mean that's just purely for Hiltonomics reasons.
God, you beat me to it. Ah, you dick.
All right. So what do we got for us there?
You guys can talk about the thread on Bizzo because I can't look at it.
I
just
read this one briefly, like right now, but it's.
I would say everyone can go look at it. You just have to make an account. And I go on Bizzo, but I don't have an account. So.
Oh, I didn't know this one was a private one. I guess I wouldn't have shared it if I'd known it was a private one, but.
It's a free account, right?
Basically, it's just one of the forum admins posting a graph of rankings, and it's a ranking that's dipping in and out. So he's there in 5th, then it vanishes for like 3 days. Then he's there again in 5th, then it vanishes for like 2 weeks. Then he appears in 4th, then it vanishes. And then just gradually over time, it starts appearing every day and stops jumping around like crazy. Mm-hmm. And he was just sharing it really to, reset because the whole thread was called setting realistic SEO expectations. A lot of people are monitoring their rankings daily. Like they would be in his position looking at this, they'd be like, right, I built 5 links to that page. These links didn't work. Or to go into Vin's world, I added this amazing 2,000 words of content to this page. I've improved everything the way Vin told me to in his content plan thing. It's vanished for 2 weeks. It must have not worked, but really Google's got all this randomization in there, and you have to wait a long, long time before things actually settle down. And over a period of 2 months, it's bouncing around like crazy before eventually stabilizing. And it's just part of a series of threads he's doing just around the things that can frustrate you as a site builder and an internet marketer generally that you need to chill the hell out about and just keep doing good work and be patient, because if you are patient, then you're still around when everything starts to go swimmingly. If you get frustrated and, like, say you waited for this 2 months before you fixed another page, like say it was a page you upgraded and spent your 5 hours on content on, and you didn't do anything else for 2 months because you wanted to wait to see if this happened, the people who are just like, yeah, this is going to work, I'm going to just be patient, I'm going to do another 20 pages while I'm waiting, they're 20 pages ahead of you. So
yeah,
that's why I shared it, really.
The rule of thumb is always keep building. Don't build something and then wait for it to come along, because then you'll be waiting forever.
Even if you build something that's not exactly the best, that's still better than having nothing.
And you're going to get your data faster. You're going to figure out if you failed or succeeded faster, and that way you can adjust faster also. But for as far as timeline of results, I guess you would say, that's pretty much what me and Jared did towards August and September of last year. We were looking at how long it takes on average for a new post to get indexed and ranked where it should be. And it's, the average was like 60 to 90 days. That's for a new post. But that doesn't account for if you make a change to that post, if you, re-optimize, you're trying to add extra content, de-optimize if you're over-optimized. Every time you make a change, you should expect to wait another 60 to 90 days before you get the true results of that change.
And you can have a page you massively improved. And I know I've mentioned it before on the show, but for people who are new to the show, it was in the professional services space. A client of ours shared just that they'd massively improved the page, and it vanished for 3 weeks. Dropped down below 100 before bouncing back way higher than ever before. But it makes it hard when you're doing client SEO, because they've got to explain to the client, no, it's going to come back.
Well, I was just
they're thinking, oh, wait a minute, that page was fine before then, right?
This is also something that Google does purposely to sniff out ranking manipulators. They want to see, if they just randomly disappear your page from the SERPs for 2 days, if you're going to frantically react and start throwing some spam links at it, or do something that they don't want you to do to kind of bring you up to the surface so they know they should give you a manual action.
I actually saw a study shared in a private group around Penguin, And it looks like what I suspected was true, that if you react to the penalties, you got hit worse and didn't come back. People who just ignored it when they got hit by Penguin and kept building links, kept adding content, kind of just pretended it didn't happen, they were much more likely to recover when they looked at like 1,000 sites that were hit. Mm-hmm. The ones that basically ignored it and kept building when a Penguin refresh came were less likely to continue to be hit.
Yeah.
Only marginally, because obviously you're looking at people that didn't fix anything else when you're trying to isolate that data. But I thought that was interesting, and it makes sense. Like if you're looking to kill manipulative, if you're tuning up an AI or a machine learning algorithm, and you want to say, right, how do we confirm for sure that the people we catch are manipulative link builders, a really good signal for who you should punish more, or you should tell the algorithm it got it right on, are the people who react to the penalty by immediately stopping what they're doing. Because you can deduce that most of the people that stopped what they were doing know that what they were doing they shouldn't have been doing in the first place. Whereas the people who just keep promoting the site the way they were doing before, maybe it is quite in line with the guidelines, maybe it isn't, but they don't think it's something they should stop doing because they've got the penalty. So you can actually train the algorithm by looking at the people that stop. So it might not be that anyone was sat there going, oh, these guys stopped, so we'll penalize them more. It's just another obvious piece of data for the machine learning to use. The people that stopped, it's more likely that it got it right on sites that match that profile.
Right. So, and a good way to just train yourself to not overreact is to just plan your site updates ahead of time. And, you should always be batching your tasks together. You do one task all together and then move on to the next task because it's more efficient that way. But if you schedule once a quarter, I'm going to do a content refresh and go through all my content on my site and update the facts and maybe add a little content to each post. If you just do that regularly every quarter, you're never going to run into needing to make a snap judgment and change something after getting hit. So if something gets hit, just leave it because it might come back anyway, and then get to it when you do your scheduled content update.
Yeah, exactly. And I think people need to think of it more like you're owning your sites like owning Bitcoin at the moment. Like if you sold all your Bitcoin every time it dipped, you haven't. Imagine you bought at $1,000 and you sold everything every time it crashed.
Yeah. Did you see that post that No Hat Digital put out, basically pushing people to start sites in the crypto space?
There's so many coming out at the minute. It's very it's not competitive yet because a lot of them are terrible.
In 10 years of doing SEO, I've never seen someone publicly reveal a niche and promote competition in the niche. I've never seen it before.
It makes me wonder if
they own a lot of Bitcoin.
He thinks he's going to be super good at it, and he wants.
Well, no, I think he probably owns a lot of cryptocurrency and knows that if loads of people start sites plugging it, then it's going to help push the market.
That's a really good point because I've seen.
I mean, I'm not saying he does. That's
I've seen now that you say that, some relatively big SEO guys I know have been making posts about that kind of stuff, and now that would
I'm putting the links in the chat now if you want to check it out.
Cool.
Sorry, what'd you say, Garrett?
I was just saying Steve made a good point because I've noticed a lot of the I don't want to say big name SEOs, but they're not big names, but they're guys that do very, very, very well with their own portfolio of sites. Have been saying that kind of stuff too, and I guess it's for just the reason Steve said makes more sense to me versus my idea that they're running some crypto blogs now that are just going to kill, and they need some sort of competition. But
well, this post I just shared is basically saying that they use CoinMarketCap.com as an example, and they have 5 advertisements on the entire site, and they reverse engineered the traffic and everything and guesstimated that the site's making like $50 million a month in revenue.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah,
so all these crypto sites popping up, like What's going to happen in the near future with the government cracking down on these guys that are offering investment advice, but their SEOs doing it who have ridden the ride and probably made a little bit of money?
Journalistic sites are allowed to make investment commentary, so if they have the right disclaimers on the site,
So that was the
they're
next
not.
thing. A lot of these
Yeah.
sites don't say this is not investment advice. You need to
Well,
speak
yeah,
with a financial planner, blah blah blah.
Well, their point in this article was that there is a lot of new keyword inventory coming out because of the explosion of the space, and there's new businesses. So there's going to be new businesses to review that have keyword inventory. There's going to be new businesses to contact to sell ad inventory to.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a new coin and a new ICO every 5 minutes, so it's easy to. You're not going to run out of keywords that are new anytime soon. So it's a fresh field. It's the wild west of the market.
Right.
So
So if you're the early adopter to grabbing this keyword and dominating it, and you know what you're doing as an SEO, you're going to continue to dominate that. And it's going to be very difficult for competitors coming in later, since you got in so early on it.
yeah,
I mean, there's something to be said there, but I can tell you, just from word agents, I see all the niches that come through our business. It's not as low competition as they're letting you believe.
Yeah.
well, I mean, it's automatically low competition because there aren't incumbent players with impossible link profiles. And I can't talk about the example I had in mind, so I'll just pick another one, like drug treatment. It's so heavily VC funded now. Startups in that space get $50 million in funding, $100 million in funding. You're not just strolling in there and picking up all the keywords. Whereas there is yet to be an incumbent. Obviously, there's 2 or 3 that are pretty big, but there's still 7 spaces, and you'll beat them at some of the new keywords if you get stuff up quickly and focus on them. So it is evergreen. It is a fresh field. Just because lots of people are trying to enter it doesn't mean it's competitive as well.
Yeah. And personally,
when the big players come, like when all the big sites, like when the New York Times buys one, and 5 VC firms set up a cryptocurrency news business, kind of like what's going on in the drug treatment world, that's when you know it's competitive and you're going to struggle to compete.
Yeah.
Not just because loads of random site builders have all joined at once.
These days, I'm more of a mindset of just keeping my head down and keep on chipping away at the projects that I'm already working on.
Yeah.
Avoid
shiny object syndrome.
The shiny object syndrome, exactly. And
we had that discussion and we were like, what's the point? We've got like 7 projects on the go.
Yeah.
One of which is going to be our main focus.
Well, even last night, I had this crazy guy that I play video games with occasionally is in a niche that is extremely uncompetitive, but it's a really huge moneymaker. And I guess I'll say he's probably older and has been making money, but he claims Google keeps fucking him around. But I rank well on MSN and Yahoo, but I'm only ranking like 9 for this stuff on Google. I'm like, okay, and like I gave him some free advice. I'm like, this is really bad, this is really bad, this is really bad. Everything you're doing is really bad, and the only reason you're even on the first page is because this niche is so uncompetitive that you're just able to show up. And he was basically like, okay, you get me ranking top 3, I'll give you 10% of gross. And I'm like, yeah, that's a really attractive offer just off the top of my head, but what the fuck? Got 7 other projects sitting here that I can't finish. And it's like, is it just going to be another thing that I want to do and doesn't make money? And Steve and I don't make any money. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's not worth it. I mean, you've got to stay focused. I mean, that's something that Carter over on Builder Society says all the time. Like, you've just got to stay focused. So, we have our team working on all these slow burners. We'll get excited if one of them takes off. Until then, we're staying focused on our one main project, which we're hoping to launch in the summer, which is the SaaS that I've been waffling on about on the show for ages. I think everyone should make tools and things like that. It's not new. Like everything else we do double down on, we're doing things that are a proven model. There's just someone doing it in a different industry from us and making a lot of money.
Yeah.
just like with link building, we didn't do something new. We found something where people are making a lot of money and found a way to do it better, but not directly compete with people. We stuck ourselves in a random different place. We're cheaper than the enterprise people, and we're more expensive than the crap people. So you can buy near enterprise quality at a cheaper price.
That's exactly what Word Agents is too. I mean, there's content agencies out there that are charging 25 cents to $1.50 a word, and straight up, I couldn't find enough talent to compete at that level right away. And I'm not a text broker, so I'm right in the middle.
If you're talking $1 a word, you're a copywriter at McCann Erickson. It's like,
and the writers at that level are extremely arrogant about their talent.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, all right, it's great that you've had those accomplishments, but you don't need to shit on my business because I'm not ready to pay you $1 a word yet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So yeah, I think focus is the key. And so if you're doing nothing and you love cryptocurrency and you think you can follow the latest trends, by all means jump in. But I don't really think
that was the point right there, man. If you're not doing anything, go for it, because you will have opportunity, but you better put everything you got towards doing that, because there's going to be a lot of competition. Me myself, I've got when I flipped that site a year and a half ago with Dan, we ended up launching 3 new sites, and those 3 sites are on the back burner now. We just don't have time to deal with them. So I've got like 8 active sites right now that are bringing in money, but I'm really only able to focus on like 2 or 3, and that's all I got time for. Plus Word Agents. Word Agents is like 30 to 40 hours a week. So it's better to keep your head down and focus, and to just keep put it this way: if it costs 10 grand to get a site ranking and earning money, I bet you that 10 grand will be better used on a current project, and that you'll end up earning a lot more money that way. So it's opportunity costs 101.
Yeah, I mean, look at us. We just spent a big chunk of money on our core business instead of investing it in a new site or whatever, because it's gonna reduce our costs slightly, improve our quality of work, make our team able to launch our new product. It's almost always easier to make more money with something that's already making money than it is to start something from scratch.
Yeah.
Taking a business from $0 to $50,000 a year is harder than taking it from 50,000 to $1 million.
Yeah, I really can't wait for Avi to be done with our new backend system, which is coming out sooner than later.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. It looked promising start. So
we're integrating like maybe Slack right into it, so the writers can talk with each other, and we got bulk uploads. We got all kinds of features. We'll talk about it.
Do you pay for the business Slack features
on Slack?
Yeah.
I haven't even got that far yet.
Oh, okay.
We're just integrating the chat system today, actually. But
if you're starting from scratch, I would look at one of the self-hosted open source ones. I forget what the name of it is now, but we really regret getting everyone set up on Slack, because we've got like 120 people on there. We can't pay that per user license when 70 of them are only on there to chat to each other.
How much was it going to cost? Like $5,000 a month?
Oh, it was something ridiculous. I can't even remember.
Grammarly just fucking nailed me to the wall, man. But for 3 years, I've been using one license for 70 writers for Grammarly.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like the past 2 weeks, I've been getting like these suspicious login notices. Because I guess they figured out that 70 different IPs are logging into my one account. So my Grammarly overhead just went from $250 a year to $2,100 a year.
That's still pretty good value for what it is.
Did they actually call you out and be like, you need to pay for licenses or what?
No, they let me come to them. So they were actually really nice. They gave me a preferential rate because of the number of users I have, which was about 75% below what they offer publicly for a business license. And
yeah, I mean, you compare like what Grammarly do with like the SEO tools, like the API access and stuff. if we wanted the API access to all the tools, it would cost $15,000 a year or more. So it's cheaper. It's cheaper for us to buy someone in the Philippines one license of each, and they just sit there on the 3 accounts and manually go in and check things, because that's cheaper than $15,000 a year by a lot. It's just madness, and it's like if your API costs more money for the same amount of work as a person typing numbers into a spreadsheet manually, then it's not priced correctly for any sensible.
Right. Unfortunately, Grammarly doesn't have an API because we're going to integrate it into our system.
Sorry, I got cut off there.
No problem. Yeah, Grammarly doesn't have an API. We're going to try to integrate that just so the writers could proofread as they were writing in their WYSIWYG editor. But they don't have it, so...
Don't they have a browser plugin they can all use or something?
It's finicky. It only works on certain sites. But
it was kind of related. We're having some issues with the general quality that our writers are sending our editors, and because of that, the editors spend way too much time editing versus sending it back and saying it's a piece of shit, start over, versus something like that that's kind of real time could save us some money, where it catches that stuff while you're typing. That'd be cool. I don't know for us if that'd be profitable, but
the Chrome plugin does catch it while you're typing, but it doesn't work with any Google products, so it doesn't work with Drive.
They'd need to have an API for it to be interesting to us.
Yeah. So we are integrating Copyscape right into it, and I believe we're going to have our own push button post to WordPress feature.
Okay.
So that'll be cool.
That's super easy now, because WordPress has got all that open stuff, and I can't remember what they called it, but it's not in PHP anymore, the part of WordPress that handles like remote posting and like the whole, like if you go onto like the WordPress.com and your sites are like hooked up through Jetpack, you can edit posts on your WordPress sites from Jetpack.
What's up with his internet? You're back.
Those fucking Tories just can't get good internet.
No, they can't apparently. It's because I burned my 4G connection, so I'm having to use the crappy cable. I accidentally left it connected while I was watching a load of YouTube and on the call earlier, and it's like I burned through my month's 40 gig by the 23rd. So, because normally I use like just the cable for like YouTube and generally, and use the 4G for work and this, but so I'm stuck on my crappy cable.
Is that general UK infrastructure that 4G is faster than cable internet?
Just in the village where I am, it's really bad.
Well, you say a village, but your village is 20 times larger than the city I live in.
No, I live in a small part of my town. Like the town area is bigger than yours, but I live in a little village kind of on the edge, which has still got its own council and it's still got its own infrastructure. And if I moved, like when I moved from, I used to live in a tiny apartment but it was in the town area. And I had like 150 up and down. Out here, it's like I get like 3. It doesn't work all the time.
Yeah, I guess I know how that goes.
Yeah, I'm just 3 miles up the road because I crossed the line into the village. That's all I get.
Cool. Let's get back on the news here.
Yeah. This next thing you found is pretty cool, because it's always been interesting to me.
I didn't understand why this was here, but you have to explain it to me.
So we've been doing, or Steve's been finding like cool stuff. I'll just let Steve talk about it.
Yeah, well, this is just part of my attempt to bring something interesting from the internet kind of world. So I've showed a couple of weird marketing hacks and that forever disappearing link that Garrett followed for 9 hours whilst drinking. I mean, this one was just super cool because it's always bugged me that, you've got your graphics editing software and stuff, and, you got an old picture, you can't.
Why hasn't this happened sooner? If you have a relatively
Yeah,
small image and you want to blow it up, why can't a neural network say, okay, I know what this image looks like, I'm going to redraw it, but 10 times bigger, and it's going to look the same, versus the thing on the left, which is a pixelated piece of shit.
Yeah.
So it's
and
cool.
I just thought it was really cool, and it's going to be cool for like old games. They can be, instead of being re-released, and you look at it and you think, oh god, this looks terrible on my big screen now.
Right.
People are going to be able to, the modding community are going to be able to imagine the difference in work, completely redoing all of the graphics versus just running them through something like this and they look decently okay afterwards. I mean, I think that's about as good as you would do trying to do it by hand. I mean, that looks pretty good to me. I thought it was pretty clever.
This is cool where they're comparing it from, the typical input that's pixelated from an old game and how they get their result. And then they compare it to someone like Adobe that's supposed to be doing this. And they just blow Adobe out of the water.
Are you looking at the multi-comparison examples?
I'm on Yoshi and...
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And then if you go to theirs, it's like perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah.
At 16.
I mean, it's insane. It's absolutely insane how much better it is.
I can just use this for all my logos when I don't know how to resize it because I'm a
I can't do it. What's interesting, I think it looks like this came out in 2011. It's already 7 years old.
Wow.
So is this?
Yeah, I don't know why it was doing the rounds. I just saw it on. I keep an eye out on like interesting Twitter hashtags and stuff that have interesting things instead of our hashtag SEO jokes later in the show, and I just saw that and thought that's kind of fits my theme of interesting stuff because, like Vince said, you're going to have some graphics and some icons and things, all kinds of interesting things you might have had drawn ages ago that a tool like that you can refresh them and still use them.
Yeah, my sales infographic on Buso is awful, especially blown up. So that's case in point of something I can use this for.
Yeah.
Well, your sales infographic shouldn't be an infographic. It should be 1,000 words of compelling copy that take the user on a never-ending story to buy.
Yeah, I was considering going into the cult of copy job board and paying one of those $1 per word writers to create a convincing story / sales page for me.
That'd be some money.
First off, I need my CRM built so I can increase my capacity before I'm selling anything.
Yeah, it's good times. Good times. We got some nice problems at the minute. I remember a year ago, none of us were moaning about these problems.
We're doing a lot of large portfolio work. We're doing a lot of subcontracting for other agencies, and the biggest problem is I just don't have the capacity now, and there's a huge demand. So that's why I'm so tired. I'm on the phone, just doing 12-hour days trying to get this going.
No one feels sorry for you, then.
Yeah, no, I'm looking for a pat on the back.
It's the same shit we're all doing, man.
Yeah.
Got to do it while we're young.
That's true.
While we're young, you guys are old.
Man, I'm
You'll still feel young when you get to our age, Garrett.
I feel like I'm 70 as it is.
Well, okay, so Garrett's old and we're still young. Well, you're gonna feel old this year, but next year you'll get more sleep and you'll be fine again.
Is this your number 30 for you?
My what?
Is this your 30th year? Birthday coming up?
Not even close.
He's only 24.
No, I'm not that young. No, I'm turning.
He started this business when he was 12.
I turned 28 in April.
Were you that kid on Shark Tank that I saw with his mom?
Yeah, that was one of my favorite attempts.
He was the guy that came with the pencil that he invented. I mean, sure, someone else had already thought of it, but he arrived at it independently, just like Pete Campbell.
Yeah.
Yeah. I invented calculus. whatever the fuck he did. Direct
Well,
marketing.
I mean, I've solved high stakes PLO.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Would you like to join my training program? Oh no, that's a chat. That's for later in the course. Sorry, I'm getting onto my late game material.
All right, what do we got up next here? Google image search.
Yep. Also image related. Usually you've always been able to search for images on Google or whatever, and you can go through the grid of them and click one, and then click View Image, and just look at it. But like in the proper size, which is always nice, regardless if you're just looking or you want to use it for whatever reason. Or I did a lot just to look at shit, but now instead of just blowing it up right away, you gotta go to the website, and I don't know if it's that huge of an inconvenience, but
well, the good news is Bing has not removed that feature, so Bing image search is still very good.
But who the hell uses Bing?
Well, you can use it if you're planning to do an image search.
Yeah.
You would be better to plan to do it on Bing right now. So it's not that you were using Bing before. It's just that this feature's gone. You want the feature back. Just go use Bing, and it's Bing's image search has actually been better than Google for a lot of things for a while.
Why? So what did Getty do to arrange this deal, though?
I don't know. They just kept trying to sue Google, and I guess Google got sick of them.
Well, there had to be something else.
Well, I don't think image search is the biggest priority for Google.
I know it's not, but there's still a lot of people that just image search random shit, and why would Google give a fuck? Most people don't download it. They just want to click the image, blow it up, and they get whatever they want out of it, and that's that. Why does Getty even care?
Oh, because Getty depends on you wanting the image, and
but most people don't.
No, but it only has to be 0.0004%, and the amount of traffic Google has. If they have to send that 0.00, if they have to send all of it to Getty, and Getty still gets their 0.0004% conversion, that's still muchos money. So I get Getty's position. I guess Google's lawyers felt there wasn't another choice.
Jared said that Getty launched a lawsuit.
Well, yeah, they've sued them a few times.
Yeah, I think I saw this.
You can still right-click and view image. So if you right-click and view the image, does it actually give you the full-size image? Because in Google sometimes it's smaller canvas size.
I think if you right-clicked and clicked View Image, it brought you to the actual hosted link for the actual image, but it didn't bring you to the page where you could actually download it and pay for it.
There was a button for that if you wanted to, though, on Google. I think Bing doesn't have that button, so I don't know. But Vin's the case in point. Given the option to continue having the feature, he was still yeah, but who the hell's using Bing? I'm not using Bing.
I guess what I really use it for is sometimes I'll be Googling for a certain picture, and on Google,
we all know what you're using.
Of course, I just use the right arrow button, and I can blow it all up and just keep going right, and still get full image sizes versus clicking an image.
Yeah, which is important when you've only got one hand free, right?
Yeah. God forbid I use Pornhub for that, but yeah.
Dude, the whole stock image thing is such a bullshit expense, and people are already finding their ways around it too. You can take a stock image, and
there's plenty of services now that it's all free. It's all photographers are just giving their stuff away for free, and we use them. That's cool.
But you can also take these stock images that you're supposed to pay for, do the mirror image of it, change the width and the height by a few pixels, change the brightness.
Is that all it takes?
And and then they can't track you anymore. And
it's not that they can't track you anymore. It's that there's so much low hanging fruit for them.
Yeah.
They're just looking for, here's a quick 1,000 for us to send our letter to. We'll collect an average of $100 each.
Yeah, I've gotten a few C&Ds for these from these companies, and they want something like $120 to $240 because I used an image unlicensed, and it's just I just didn't respond to them, and they never fucking contacted me again.
Oh, that's one of the pieces of advice they give actually is either don't respond, but don't take it down immediately either, because that can be seen as acknowledgement that you've received the letter. Or immediately just make them an offer for like $50 or some amount that's about a third of what they asked for.
No, unless your entire site is populated by stolen stock images, ignore it, because they're not going to bring you to court.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like if you're advising a client and like they're a small business and they've received a letter for $500 or whatever, sometimes it's better for them to just say, I'll give you $100 and just get it off their chest. I think it's different if it's you and you want to like go the VIN approach and wide it out. And if you lose the $500, you lose it. If you don't lose anything, you don't lose anything. I think if you're giving advice to a client,
that's true.
Settle for the cheap $100. It's guaranteed.
Yeah.
And the client knows they did something wrong. They stole some image without thinking about it, and that's that. The fact that the law's a bit stupid and they shouldn't really, stuff needs to change is irrelevant. They know they made a mistake. It's $100. It gets it out of the way. So I think if you're advising a client, it's better off just say to them that.
I guess for us, niche site guys.
Just use proper free images. It's easy, guys. Come on, stop messing around like a bunch of amateurs. It's not 1998 anymore. Jesus Christ, guys, come on.
What do you use, like Unsplash and Wiki Commons or whatever it is?
Yeah, we do have one paid stock photo service as well. We use Billion Photos, but that's just because it came free with some design software that we use. So
yeah, I got a lifetime license for Get Stencil, which is one of those apps.
Yeah, we have that too, but we don't.
Oh yeah, Garrett's got that as well.
It's like a Canva ripoff.
Did you get it from AppSumo?
Yeah, it comes with like a database of like 5,000 images that you can use for free.
Yeah, I think we still have Canva, because that stencil thing, Garrett's always swearing at. I'm like, so we just use Canva. Although I guess we got lifetime, didn't we? So I guess when it improves, we can cancel Canva because we'll have the.
Hey, this Uber killer article is pretty dope. This I thought was awesome.
Then you can talk about it.
Okay, sure. I figured that this was a Steve article because it came from Zero.
Yeah, it was.
Basically, Arizona's rolling out Waymo's robo-taxi in what is that soundbite? Oh, it must be the website. It's basically they're rolling out. This company's rolling out a fleet of Chrysler Pacifica self-driving taxis in Arizona, and Uber's freaking out because obviously it's going to eat into their market share. But the state passed. I guess the state allowed them to do this, so it's actually happening. I'm trying to find when they're. Did you see when it's actually starting?
I think it's really soon.
Yeah.
Because they got the permit. They got the permit like a month ago. I mean, this is pretty insane because.
So it says 2 days ago reported a big rollout of burger flipping robots, set to hit 50 locations by 2019. Next after that, it could be part-time drivers' turn. Could be the part-time driver's turn to give up. So.
Yeah, this is awesome. I mean, do you think this will put Uber out of business, self-driving cars?
Well, Uber's working. Uber's trying to put themselves out of business with their own self-driving plan, but
they're already pivoting to something else, right?
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, it just kind of hit me like, I think the whole rideshare idea was great, but it was pivoted in such a time where the transition between typical getting a cab to something like Uber/Lyft to self-driving cars is going to be such a short window, where the investment required to do something like Uber and Lyft, are they ever going to be able to pay that back without just immediately already we have to say, nope, we just have to go straight into self-driving cars now, because otherwise we're going to be dead in 5 years, still never have made any money. And
well, their plan was to go into self-driving cars as soon as possible. So the drivers were always a temporary part of Uber's business model. It's just that, I mean, I think the problem with all of these people is as soon as the technology is solvable, you know, I mean, look at Elon Musk's company with his Teslas. He can barely build any cars. You know, once it becomes like it's a thing that everyone doesn't use cars anymore, Mercedes are going to be the Uber exec. They're just going to build a fleet of 1 million of them, and then in Germany, the only thing you'll use is the Mercedes-Benz self-driving ride-hail app. Your nice executive Mercedes will come and take you to your meeting or whatever, and they'll be able to build 1 million of them in a month. Right. Anyone else who's trying to play this game can build 10,000 cars they can roll out in one city. When it's solved and works well, the big car makers will roll 1 million a month off the production lines, and that's fine if you're Tesla, because Tesla's trying to make sporty, fashionable cars. They're trying to be the Alfa Romeo or the whatever of the electric car market. So for them, they'll probably never meet their demand.
Right.
But for like an Uber that's trying to be the whole of the market, it's a really big threat to them that they might have the first best self-driving car. Unless they can get someone to make them for them who doesn't just want to make them themselves, they're going to have to compete with the big auto manufacturers.
My thing with the whole self-driving car craze is I feel like there's going to be a disconnect between, like, how do you have self-driving cars and cars with actual drivers on the road at the same time? Like, I know that these self-driving cars have X amount of sensors on them to anticipate, human error, but I feel like it's just a giant clash.
Well, humans crash into each other all the time, so the risk assessments just simply, do the self-driving cars have less accidents than the equivalent human in that mixed environment? And if they do, they'll get licenses to operate.
That makes sense.
I mean, it's simple as that. It's like saying, because you could do the same with humans. You could be like, yeah, but can you really have 18-year-olds on the road at the same time as 40-year-olds? The 40-year-olds are safer. They have less accidents. But it's just both of them meet the minimum acceptable threshold or whatever that we've set, or 17, 16 in some states, whatever it is.
If you look at ordering a nice car these days, like if you're buying a Mercedes as it is, you get a huge insurance discount because you're getting radar detected in front of you, side to side. So if the radar detects that you're too close, slams on the brakes. Or if you're side to side too close, it'll jerk the wheel and you don't sideswipe something. That's already stuff that they've decided is a risk factor even without a human driver worth taking.
And Audi's
honestly, the cars aren't really that far away from being just set them loose. The only thing is like a state like Minnesota or New York where it snows, and
they don't work in the snow yet.
Yeah, so they're testing that. It's all over the news here. I don't know about New York, but constantly every news report is about how a car was going down a cloverleaf in the snow at 3 miles an hour because it couldn't sense the snow was falling and the radar was fucking it up, so it had to slow down to 3 miles an hour and did safely. But realistically, that's not safe because someone coming down the on-ramp or down the exit ramp, even in the snow, is probably doing at least 30 in the snow. And that's a hazard.
They're about 5 years away from being able to have a realistic snow trial where they're actually trialing it for use in the snow. It's just more California technology made for as if the whole world was California and the weather was the same. But for places that it works, I mean, Phoenix, Arizona, where it basically doesn't even rain. I mean, big wide open roads in the desert. It's going to be pretty.
It's just a matter of time until it's rolled out everywhere.
You think about the cost as well. Like, it's going to cost. If you just think about the cost of the car's depreciation and the gas, and then they add their 15-30% margin for running the service, you're going to be able to get a ride into work for $2 and a ride back for $2. So your total cost for being in the car is going to be, like, just for your commute to work is going to be like, I don't know, say $60 a month to round it up a bit.
Plus,
Yeah,
you
I
don't
would
have to
imagine
drive.
that it's going to be a subscription plan, not a.
Yeah. People are going to subscribe with X amount maximum
Well, to
miles
me,
and
the
stuff.
big selling thing
But you're not
is
going to have to. You're not like compared to owning a car where you buy a car for $50,000 and you lose $12,000 the first year in the value, and you also have to stick gas in it and you also have to drive it.
yeah.
I mean, that's
To
why
me,
I
I
get
think the
thinking.
biggest selling thing is going to be, let's say you're someone like in the area I live, an hour outside of Minneapolis, and driving into Minneapolis to work. That's going to take you about an hour and a half in rush hour every day, each way, versus during the day it might take you like half an hour.
Hmm.
If I had a self-driving car, I could sit in the back seat, get on my laptop, plug in my phone, have internet.
I already saw a prototype for bar cars where you get in, it's a taxi, and there's a bar in there stocked with booze, and you can entertain.
Well, if you ride in executive cars as it is, that you get like if you're going down to the airport in London or London in the city for a meeting, and there's like you're going with your business colleagues, they send you a Viano. It's got a table with the 4 seats, 2 on each side of the table. So you're sitting on a work table with PowerPoints, Wi-Fi in the car. So you get your ride down to London and work in the car. So self-driving cars make that possible for everyone who can't afford 250 to get a ride down to, well, 300, whatever it is, to get a ride down to London. But I mean, that's why I use the train all the time, because you first class on the train, have a drink, do your work. Why drive for 3 hours if you can get 3 hours of work done? It's going to make it accessible to everyone, which I think is the real win from it.
Cool.
They
So what's this? Udemy is infringing upon my content. I didn't watch this.
I forget what this one was now. I don't know.
Basically, when I was skimming through the video, he made content that was selling on Udemy, and they were kind of. I don't know how the whole license works when you put something for sale there. Do they own it outright?
Well, what it is Udemy don't own it, but they get their 30% or whatever, like all these markets. And
so if
some
you
of
promote it elsewhere, the exact same video, is that an infringement?
Well, no. What this person's done is someone has just stolen his video content and put it on Udemy as part of their course.
Oh, really?
So Udemy's charging people for access to his free YouTube stuff.
Oh. Okay.
So what he's saying is people are stealing other people's.
And charging $20 a month or $20 a course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Udemy has no idea, obviously.
Yeah, well, they just aren't policing it well, by the sounds of it. It doesn't surprise me. I've seen some atrocious stuff on Udemy. It's really hit and miss. I mean, you never really care because no one buys anything on Udemy unless it's discounted down to like $10 or something. No one pays full price on there unless they're a lunatic. So you're never too angry because you're like that.
I bought courses for some of our writers because they had approached me, asked me how do they start an online business, and usually what I suggest to stay-at-home moms is to do something in social media, be a social media manager. So I bought them a few courses on social media businesses on Udemy, and it was just trash. It was complete trash. I ended up teaching these women, a lot more than they learned from these courses that they paid that I paid like $30 to $50 a piece for. But I guess it depends on the topic and the industry. But for digital marketing, everything I've seen on there has been junk.
Oh, it is. It's terrible. It's not funny.
I spent about $100 on some neural network stuff for Python. I haven't had time to watch them. But
I told you you wouldn't have time for that shit.
Yeah. I'm hoping
too busy making money.
Well, okay, so I bought them when they were on sale, and I'm saving them because they're supposed to be $200 a video, and I bought 5 of them. I got them for like $16 each or something. And I bought them assuming once you buy them, you keep them, right? They don't expire.
Yeah, you keep them. Yeah, I've started one as well, but.
Carrot, my dog will kick your dog's ass.
I wish it would. This guy's a little shit fucking asshole.
What kind of dog is that?
Well, he's a Chihuahua with some wiener dog or something.
Huh.
We actually had his 1-year family anniversary because February 18th I was on a snowmobiling trip, and Megan calls me up. I need $100. My ATM card's out of money. Okay. All right. Sent her $100 on PayPal. Oh, I bought a dog for us. Oh.
And the first couple of weeks with my dog was really hard, but I'm really glad we got him. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Yours looks like Gizmo. You ever see Gremlin?
Yeah. Actually, all my friends, they call him Gizmo because he's a little gremlin, and he's an asshole too.
Looks like Gizmo. Anyway.
Yep.
We have any news left, or was that it?
Just one. The demise of Barnes and Noble, but none of our news is really SEO related today.
Yeah.
That's all right. But
let's jump to the main topic because that's focused.
Well, I was just really quick. We don't have to get into it.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I do enjoy going to the bookstore to buy a book and looking around versus going on Amazon and buying a book. And I really don't have a reason why. That's all I wanted to say. But
yeah, I mean, I think
the Barnes and Noble.
Yeah, I mean, I included it more as a business story than a kind of in SEO, because we talked a lot about business last week. So I guess it was on my mind when I saw the link, and it's that typical thing when a struggling business starts firing the very people that are keeping it alive at all to save some money and kind of put the final nail in their own coffin. You know, like you enjoy going into the bookstore, you can get advice from someone that's useful. You can have a quick look at the books easier than Amazon, because I know they have their preview, but it's kind of naff and limited. They make cross sales from you easier. There's loads of positives to the business, but if they kill all the positives and it just becomes an outlet where you walk in and buy a book and someone who's on minimum wage and has no knowledge sells you a book, they've lost their advantage. And it's something you see in businesses all the time. They burn themselves as they hit the first side of trouble. Excuse me. But yeah, so just as a business story, it's if you're going to go out of business, don't accelerate it by killing all the bits that you do well.
Mm-hmm.
That was really why I included it. Obviously it's a story of the internet killing the old stores and blah, 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 but there is a place for real stores. I mean, I buy most of my stuff in real stores, and I buy most of my junk on Amazon.
Yeah. I actually worked at Barnes & Noble's right after high school. I worked in the receiving department, getting the boxes off the trucks and sending them out to the shelves. It's a good time, man. You open yourself to a lot of different topics and a lot of things you never
I bet, yeah.
ever would have read about or learned about. But it stinks that it's on its way out, but I sure do like my Amazon. You can't say that.
Right.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, Amazon's good. It's just there's some things that are just a pain in the ass to buy on there because you're looking at some shitty picture. Some future virtual reality Amazon will be better, but
yeah, it's basic Hiltonomics.
Exactly.
Anyways, is it time for hashtag SEO?
Yeah, let's do hashtag SEO.
All right. I didn't prep one this week, guys. I'm actually logging in.
I'm glad, because that's cheating. I keep telling you off for that.
The thing is, I know where exactly to go to find that crazy Australian site.
Who is AJ Gergic? He has the handle @SEO.
Wow.
Bad links are easy to acquire. Good links don't scale. Hashtag SEO. I strongly disagree.
Could Brad Jones be returning to the national team? Hashtag SEO tips.
It's a good question.
Yeah. And it's a photo of some lacrosse players.
So, socially simplified, make the content compelling. It needs to be distinct from other online writing. The most cryptic tip ever, I think.
Yeah. What hashtag is that?
Hashtag SEO. Yeah, I'm just on the main boring one.
Buyer keywords, the only guide you need for SEO dominance in 2018.
Home and garden listings. Need an authority link? See our list of directories. Hashtag SEO.
The hottest reasons to get a slow cooker in your kitchen. Hashtag SEO tips.
Yeah, for all those homebrew
Yeah.
overnight projects.
Torsten Müller has a Seth Godin quote. Nobody makes a purple cow by sticking with what's safe. Hashtag writing for SEO.
Search Engine Journal has a really good graphic with some text. Here are the hashtag SEO trends you should focus on in 2018, according to experts. And then they have a link, and it's a graphic. And it says 10 plus SEO trends.
Are Barnaby Joyce and Vicky Companion a couple? Hashtag SEO tips.
Well, I wanted to finish this one, Ben.
I'm sorry. I thought
there's a good point to this. So they said it's the top 10 trends, right? It's mobile first, voice search, schema, featured snippet, content, machine learning, speed, technical SEO, and links, which happen to be 9 tips. But the 10th tip is a whole lot more. Thank you for the high quality Search Engine Journal. Those are definitely.
Oh man, these journals are a joke. Absolute joke.
Yeah.
Man, they're just so boring this week. People are just so dumb. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
you guys find good ones.
I feel sorry for people who have the.
Can you guys do without me for 2 minutes, quick?
I guess we're gonna start on the main topic.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
All right. Well, actually, I'm alone now because Steve's. Bye, guys. Steve, are you still here with audio, man? All right. Nobody's watching. Is anyone here? Hopefully, Garrett can edit this out on the recording because I don't like being by myself on the live feed. Vin's all alone. Maybe we can talk about.
Am I back?
Who's back?
Am I back?
I hear you. There you are. I got left alone on the live feed all by myself for like 30 seconds.
Yeah. I had a complete failure, so I went and rebooted the 4G router, and it's let me back on. So I'm getting echo. Is that me or is that?
I think I was. I think I was talking too loud in my lonely show embarrassment. But if I talk at a normal level, you shouldn't have any echo.
Cool. You didn't keep things going then for that 30 seconds.
You came back before I could start revealing private secrets about you and Garrett.
Oh man, I wish there were any interesting private secrets. I'm too boring these days, man. I'm like an old man ahead of time.
So
get some work done.
So our main topic this week is common internet marketing scams. Do you have one in particular you had in mind?
Well, there's so many, and I think what I wanted to do was avoid calling out anyone in particular and more just look at the general themes of things that people are getting ripped off on. I mean, the one that always strikes me is the roving consultant who services local businesses and small businesses, and they do a lot of damage to our industry. We've probably not too much to say about them because we all know these types, but they think the solution to everything is a 5-pack of PBN links a month.
Yeah.
They charge local businesses a paltry amount, but it's still, waste of money, $500, $1,000 a month. They just rove around networking. They don't know how to do anything. They're just the modern day equivalent of the snake oil.
It's those guys that give us or give the industry the impression that we're the equivalent of multi-level marketing.
Yeah.
And I took over my friend's site. He's in the dental. He's a dentist, And he spent close to $28,000 between 2016 and 2017 with one of these guys that said they're an SEO expert. And they put up a cookie cutter site. And, you know, we later found that they used the same site theme for every one of their clients. And over the course of that year, where he paid the guy 20 grand, the guy purchased one package on Fiverr for $15. And we only figured that out because the guy, when we asked for a report, he forwarded us the Fiverr report that actually had the invoice information on the report. So currently in a lawsuit with this agency because he spent 20 grand and got $15 of work back from it.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, so that was just the one that kind of, you know, like, I mean, I told the story before when I went to a morning networking group to speak about penalty removal. And the reason they'd invited me was because their previous SEO expert had gotten more penalty. And it was all just, you know, packs of our favorite wicked fire nonsense that had been working for a while for him. And so, I mean, that's the common one for business owners, but you guys don't want to hear about that. You want to hear about the shysters in the information world.
Well, you know what? The most common one that I see are the guys that go onto the online communities and they, you know, build up a little bit of a profile and then they launch their service and then they have all their friends leave fake reviews to get some social proof. And they're able to, you know, nab 20, 30 grand of profit, you know, over the course of their classified ad. And then they disappear for good. And that happens all the time. And again, it makes people skeptical of legitimate online communities that are sharing real information and have high quality services in their classified section. So it kind of ruins it for everybody. So it's an uphill battle for, you know, companies like yours and mine. I'm sure you've dealt with that before. I have too. Because, you know, you get guys coming into your service thread and they're like, hey, I use this service and I had this bad experience. You know, are you just like that? And then you just got to explain, you know, it's like you're backpedaling before you even land the client.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, forums are particularly challenging, like you say, because of the fly-by-night nature of some of the people. And I think it's really important, and that's why, you know, my profile's all in my real name. I want people to know that I'm staking my name and my reputation on everything we offer. And, you know, what's 30 grand going to do for me to steal? You know, it's nothing.
Did we talk about this on the show about how there seems to be a bit of a disconnect where I totally agree with what Steve's saying about putting his name on stuff, but in a lot of these Facebook groups for SEO, it's like it's a totally different world where people aren't. Someone's name can be on it, but then they still don't give a shit, and then they just leave the group and they're gone.
Yeah.
But that's like their personal profile that they've had.
Well, some of them that we've spoken about before have their fake names, and I would say, and it does annoy me a little bit when people are, you know, bigging up some of these people, because it's a guy going around with a fake name,
right?
Like, and you know it's a fake name. Something's up, you know.
Yeah.
And you see some, you know, and there's no smoke without fire.
I like to find the fake name guys. I don't like to find their real Facebooks, but they never add me back, as you can imagine.
I'm sure they enjoy you saying hello.
Hello.
I mean,
I'm still here, making more money than you.
Well, that wouldn't be hard with
the general information product scams, and this isn't just in the internet too.
Yeah, Neil Patel's pushing that. Like, he did a video on LinkedIn, a paid post, and it's just him talking for 30 seconds. He's like, this is the next big money-making thing. You all need to do this right away. Anything you know anything about, make a webinar.
Yeah, I think I've said it time and time again.
$500.
There are good training stuff out there. Whether or not you need to pay for it, I don't know. I think you can learn everything you need to for free. But if you're one of these people that are still in SEO after 5 years and grinding along for 40 or 50 grand a year, like a middle class wage, and you're wondering why you haven't broke in yet, it's because all you're doing is following the tips that are already 5 years old. And you're never going to get anywhere without pioneering your own shit. And you're going to have to take some risks and be better.
Yeah, but also, I mean, that we have the experience to have that insight. You know, there's swarms of people, especially in this industry, that are looking to make money online or make money outside from home, and they don't know any better, and they see this awesome sales page for this info product, and they don't know that, you know, they can get that information for free already, and they don't know that that information being shared might be outdated. They don't know that, you know, they don't. It's just a scam, and it's just these gurus. I'm hesitant to even call them that.
Well, I think guru is a sufficiently derogatory term now that you can call them that.
Yeah. They're just taking advantage of the newbie's ignorance, and you don't just see this in internet marketing. You see it in investing and day trading, and basically generally any business biz op type industry.
It's the new seminar game, and I know we're all too young really to have been around when it was a big thing. I mean, they still go on.
I have some good examples of that actually.
You know where that still goes on with that Robert Kiyosaki, that the real estate shit, Rich Dad Poor Dad. Like,
it's still huge in real estate, yeah.
Yeah, they have him on the radio. Oh, come meet the authors of Rich Dad Poor Dad and for a free seminar, and they spend 45 minutes just building up a strategy that they don't tell you about, and at the end they try to sell you a course or a weekend seminar in Vegas for $10,000. It's not cheap. It's legit money.
Yeah, everything's marked up. I had a friend who used to work he was one of the mortgage consultants at at one of the property workshops. So they get, like you say, they get them along for the free seminar with a bit of celebrity appeal. It wasn't one of the ones Vin's talking about, but similar well-known investors. And then everything's marked up. They're trying to sell you the course. Once you pay the $10,000 for the course, you're basically just coming along to a day when the property developers are there to force you to buy these properties, and then the mortgage advisors that are there to do the mortgages, everything's marked up like it's a $2,000 advice fee on the mortgage. Like someone would do it for you for free, but you pay $2,000 to this, you pay a broker fee for the property, everything's marked up, but it's packaged to look like a good deal because, you're getting your 20% investors discount on this property. How many units have you sold at full price? 0. How many are you selling to anyone that isn't at one of these workshops? 0. Who the hell knows what the list price is? It's definitely not 20% off that you're getting.
And they and now they're using the influencers to pitch their shit. Like in the real estate radio ad that I was just talking about, they used the host from one of those. I forget what show it is. It's the one that they help people that are down on their luck renovate their house, and like they send them on vacation for a week, and they come back and their home is renovated.
Yeah, I've seen an episode. I forget the name, but
it's the host of that show, and he's like the guy speaking on the radio promoting the Rich Dad Poor Dad seminars. And this is bullshit, and it's we talked about it a couple shows back about the scams in influencer marketing, and
I think the thing to look out for is the rings of reviews. Like we spoke already about the fake reviews on forums. The thing you'll notice if you look at all of these guys' webinars, and it is mostly guys, so we're a disgrace in terms of our propensity to scam people. You look at the reviews on these guys' forum. Like take any one of the fake name brigade and go to one of their courses or one of their things, and you'll find all of the same brigade of people recommending each other's products. They form a circle of positivity and positive reviews around each other's products. And I watched a really interesting documentary about it on YouTube a while ago. I'll have to see if I can find the link. But the guy had gone to like hundreds of these people's sites and things they were promoting and found the same reviews.
Is that all in a circle?
I forget what he called it, but yeah,
Yeah.
so they all review each other, and they can't help themselves. Even people who are making legit money doing legit business, there's so much money in this game. They get sucked in by the opportunity to sell $25,000 secret circle memberships and other things like that.
But I don't even think that practice of having your tight network of business associates pump your stuff is bad if what you're peddling is providing value to the end user.
No, but it's when it's the same. That was my point. It's not that, like, if one of our clients leaves us a genuine review, that's fine. But there's not going to be a circle of all of us who work together and all of us review all of each other's stuff constantly. That pattern doesn't exist. There's loads of just random people leaving reviews that some people have heard of, some people haven't. When you find a pattern where there's a lot of money being made and all the reviews are being left by the same group of people, half of them use a fake name in public, you've got to have some alarm signals go off. The reason it works, of course, is they have big followings of noobs. And all the noob does is they see this new guy, but he's got 3 of the people they've kind of heard of. And they're like, oh, this guy puts out some good content that's left this review. I kind of trust him. But he hasn't even watched the product. He doesn't give a shit. It's just part of their circle of leaving each other reviews and helping each other make more money. So it's a big, big warning sign when you see that kind of just loop of, if you're in a circle where you're constantly buying information products and you're buying it on the basis that you see people that you already know always being one of the people that reviews it, you've got to take a step back and think, what's really going on here for the marketing of these products? Why aren't the new people? Why aren't there actually legitimate famous people around reviewing this? Why is it just the
I know
same
a lot
bunch
of these
people?
groups promote their training courses for free, and then they'll offer a premium package for like $1,500. And the premium package has all the free videos plus maybe like 30 hours of content, which is awesome, but you can get it for free. But then the premium package has an extra 3 hours of super juicy secret SEO tips that you cannot live without. And it's like,
Yeah.
if that were true, you already have 15 out of like 75% of the knowledge to do it for free. And those super juicy tips probably aren't that juicy. But like Vin said, people don't know any better because they're just getting into it. I don't know. It's just really heartbreaking.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, like, you shouldn't spend.
Because on the other end of the spectrum, for me, it's like Stephen Vinno, I'm really against giving away our secrets. But when Steve does it, I always say, well, yeah, you were right. You did that because now that everyone knows our process, we get a lot more business from it and people trust us. And I do know people in my circles that charge $10,000 for a few days of their time, but they don't promote anything for free. It's like, if you want to see me, I'm a real consultant, and I'm going to teach you really, really, really good shit, but it's not cheap. And it's always like people in the middle that from free to really expensive, and then you're in the middle because people are going to pay you that much to get nothing.
It sucks. I think the bottom line is, just keep your wits about you. If something seems too good to be true, it probably is. And before you shell over some cash, maybe take some time to see if you can get that same information for free elsewhere, because you probably can't.
Well, you know what they say: those who can do, those who can't teach.
Yeah.
You're giving someone who can't $15,000 of your money. You're making a big mistake. I mean, but yeah, there's so much going on there. It's insane. I mean, there's the fake names, the bullshit courses, the big influencers peddling that this is the next big money making scheme. Anything you know about how to get rid of spots, do a webinar, get some kids to give you money. It's like, I've seen webinars that are like, make sure your parents are watching it with you so they can get their credit card out because they're going to want to buy you this at the end of the webinar. It's like, I'm like, what? Make sure mummy and daddy are here because they're going to really want to. They don't want their kid to miss out.
And what sucks is if you want to publicly call this whoever's doing it out, then you risk, raise the risk of, backlash against your legitimate service.
Which brings me to my next one, which is franchise scams. And again, for the exact reason Vin says, I can't name the franchise, except it has a word that rhymes with roach in it, and a word that rhymes with faction. And luckily for customers, the scam is purely perpetuated potentially against their franchisees, not necessarily the end customer, because obviously there are great people that give great advice to businesses that just happen to have been done. But it's things like they just make up a brand and convince people that they're going to make loads of money if they buy this franchise, because it's going to be so, you're just going to be able to instantly walk into any business and sell them services if you have a brand. It'd be like if we made up, reach marketing as a brand, and you just had to get a reach marketing franchise and you'd be able to sell SEO to everyone. We know that's bullshit because it's hard to sell SEO and the customers aren't going to have heard of the brand beforehand. But we charge $75,000 and we'll give you Minneapolis, and you go out there. And all we give you is like a couple of books.
But you still got to go find your own clients. And
yeah, off you go. But we charge you $2,000 a month to keep the franchise, and you have to pay a penalty if you don't keep paying it. And the truth is, all of these things, you're going to be better off just learning the shit yourself and going out and starting the business. I mean, there's some big winning franchises, obviously. Like if you go and open a Pizza Hut in a good location. Or a Papa John's. I know the guy in my town of the Papa John's. They make a lot of money, but I don't know him personally. I just know that they make a lot of money. So there's good franchises, but a bullshit franchise is one where it's purely information based. We'll give you this information and our potentially worthless name. You give us shitloads of money is not a good deal. So I can't call it a scam because they tell you exactly what you're going to get. So they're not scamming you. They're just not offering you. They're offering you an absolutely atrocious deal. Those kind of franchises, because the information isn't worth a percentage of all the money you make forever, a guaranteed monthly payment for enough to pay for a university course, and a massive $75,000 plus upfront fee for some information. I mean, that's buying a $1,500 course and taking it to $100,000 a year.
It's scammers finding loopholes in regulation or ignorance by the regulators.
Well, that brings us to MLM then, doesn't it? Because that's the loophole in the pyramid scheme legislation.
Yeah.
Pretend there's a product and you can run a pyramid scheme. Please, everyone, don't.
Well, that's a huge thing. MLM. I don't know. Vin, have you heard of LuLaRoe or something? The clothes, women's clothing. I don't know.
Lululemon.
LuLaRoe. I don't know, some shit like that. But
so
it's a huge multi-level marketing scheme. But the thing is, now that it's physical products and the franchisees have to buy into it and pay a lot of money, and their profit margin is only like 1% on everything they sell, they incentivize these people to say, if you just get your friends to sign up, we'll give you an extra point on everything you sell for every friend that you sign up. So it's a women's clothing line. So these housewives, unfortunately, are like, okay, this sounds cool. I can do this from home and I can still have the kids and do this and that. But obviously I'm not going to make any money selling $10,000 worth of clothes every month for 1% kickback.
Yeah.
That I have to put the money up front for. So I'm going to go and sign up all my friends. And she might get, realistically, 5 people out of everybody she knows. So she's up to like 6% kick on what she's selling. Still not worth it. So now you're like, what? Oh, now I'm going to promote LuLaRoe, or whatever it's called. I'm going to get on social media and say, this is awesome. Every other housewife that needs something to do needs to be on this and selling LuLaRoe. And I'm up to 15 people, so now I'm getting 16% kick. But all the while, it's just MLM at its like peak form. And I've told people that I know, like, this is really genius because
Well, do you know what the scam they do on top of that is they have minimum orders each month. So these people are they're forced to buy and chuck in their garage a bunch of stuff. And one of them that's a supplements one, they have an expiry date that's really short. So all the stuff they don't sell becomes worthless really quickly. So they have to buy it because they'll lose their tier. You know, and you've got to be platinum tier if you to make any money. So to have any hope of ever getting out of the hole, you have to just stump up some more money on this stuff and hope that you do better next month. So they know they're going to sell a crap load of it, but there's so many of these in the MLM world, and it's just an exploitation of the loophole around. And you see intelligent people fall for it. There was this guy in America came out with a video email tool. You know, video emails are the future, but don't worry, you're not going to make much money selling video email packages to small businesses initially because it will take a while to get traction. What you need to focus on initially is signing up people to sell the video emailing tool. And all these people are handing over 500. I mean, it was quite a cheap one, actually. I mean, they could have definitely given people for some more money. They were just charging 500
it's just amazing how it happens everywhere. Where
in New York here, there's a lot of. It's usually like the pretty girls that like graduated high school but never went to college. They sling. It's called It Works. I'm looking at the website now, and it's basically like, you know, trendy, organic supplements that girls use, and it's the same thing. It's like an Avon, you know.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if you look in the last 50 years, Avon and Mary Kay, the exact same shit.
Yeah, so the girls buy a kit, and then they have to sell all the products within a kit, and then they have like their team leaders, and then above the team leaders is like the regional manager, and it's multi-level marketing. But these girls are told that they can make a living wage doing this, and you know, some of them quit their part-time jobs and they start, you know, thinking that all their Instagram friends, Facebook friends are going to automatically buy this. And meanwhile, you know, they're $1,000 in the hole because they bought all this crap, and they can only sell half of it, or they're going to work 80 hours a week and sell it all and you know, make less than minimum wage.
I'm hesitant to put Avon in the same group just because during its heyday, before Amazon, the idea that you could just, like, you know, there was a catalog with cheaper stuff on, and you know, they would go around their street, drop the catalogs off, pick the orders up.
All right, a better analogy would be Herbalife.
And they didn't pay up front for it. They just put the orders in for what their people had ordered. Then they went round, delivered it, and collected the money. You know, it was Avon in its heyday was, you know, something that's become redundant because of, you know, the likes of Amazon and, you know, online shopping. But at the time, it was a real convenience for the housewife market that they targeted. I'm sure they came nowhere near breaching the kind of pyramid selling rules, because I bet their actual product sales massively exceeded their, you know, sales from signing new Avon representatives and stuff. So I would hesitate to put them in the category. I mean, they might be a failed business now because the times have moved on. They might struggle to, but I don't think that was ever the intention of Avon, to be like the copycats who pretend to be the same kind of thing and aren't. They're just pyramid schemes. I think Avon was the first real one, or one of the first real ones, and many pyramid schemes have attempted to just copy what they look like. Yeah. That's my take on. I think they were a real business that served a need at the time. I mean, I'm not saying some of the girls made a ton of money, but some of them did.
I think we should revisit the scam topic, you know, in a couple of weeks, but literally just put people on blast for current scams and just call them out.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of where to get real good information, I think you know, if you're in our game, obviously Builder Society, the crash course is amazing. If you're looking for just really dry SEO information,
I'm going to say right now, the crash course on Bizzo has been ripped off, and they're selling it for thousands of dollars.
Don't go there.
Don't pay $1,000 for the exact crash course that's on Builder Society.
It's not, let me rephrase. I'm about to get sued tomorrow. The content was changed, but it's still along the same lines, and it's in the exact same order for some reason.
Synonyms were used for the chapter headings.
So
yeah,
my lawyer's on retainer.
Yeah,
So
there's some guy wrote chapter 20 called Simon Purpley.
Yeah, but I think the owners of Builder Society have the right ideas. You know, give away the information for free, man, and then you own your following, and then after that, then you could sell your legitimate services, or you could sell your legitimate upgraded private mastermind course, or you can sell whatever it is, because you gain the trust through.
I guess my problem's always been about giving stuff away for free. Like, I don't mind doing a video and giving it away for free. What I do mind is I don't have a lot of patience, and I'm not a good teacher. So, like, if I did a YouTube series on local SEO and people are asking questions, I just get frustrated. It's not that they're dumb questions. I just don't have the patience to walk through what I just talked about. And because I'm probably not a good teacher, it's like there's enough there to figure it out. And if you can't do
Just
that,
so you know, Garrett's local SEO course is available. This is his teaching style. It is $4,700.
Actually, you don't give yourself enough credit, buddy. I think you would do fine.
I was looking through rank tracking, and my 4-year-old guide to Google My Business outranks all of our competitors, and that was not optimized to rank for anything. It was supposed to be a primer for clients and just a general resource. But if you Googled guide to Google My Business or any of that shit, I'm right below Google for it, and it's still better than the $1,500 courses that people are paying for.
Yeah, I mean, so you can just use Google to get some stuff. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it was just an article that we put together, the same as we put articles together now, like what the hell's a link bait and how do I use it? Because that's information we use as part of our sales process. If someone wants natural links and they're like, here are the pages I've got, and it's all like best pills for your penis, you're like, well, this isn't going to work for you as a Viagra link bait. You need something better than this on your site. So you write articles to help support your sales process. This was just to explain to people what the hell is Google My Business and how do I use it. We didn't expect anyone to follow it and want to do all that stuff themselves. It was just, this is what you would need to do, and this is what we charge if you want to use us instead. Obviously, that's not what we do anymore. But it's kind of interesting that all these years later, after we've stopped doing it, the guide is still so good. A lot of good people have linked to it. We didn't even promote it, and it picked up some links and stuff. I mean, it's pretty cool. We promoted it a little bit when we first wrote it, just to try and get it in front of some people, but
I don't really remember now.
I think I sent 10 emails out. I literally just sent 10 emails out one afternoon. It's like madness. But yeah, I mean, I think Builder Society is good. I think if you want dry SEO information, I really like. I don't sign on there much now, but Distilled University is really good. They just give you and it's very, very cheap. You pay monthly as well, so once you get bored with it, you can just cancel. I don't cancel because I like all the conference videos. There's always, I don't want to buy like all these conferences, because they're the conferences we don't go to. They're kind of pure mainstream SEO, MozCon type things, and they have all of the Search Love conferences on there. You get all the videos. So for the 3 or 4 people that I do want to watch speak, it's worth what you pay over the year, because you only pay them for the whole year. All the conferences, what one video pack costs. So I haven't cancelled, and probably just keep it forever, the Distilled U subscription. But if you only wanted it just to read through once and then watch the videos and then cancel, you're only going to pay for a couple of months. But there's a lot of good information on there. If you're a complete beginner, they walk you through, just basic technical SEO, basic outreach, basic strategy, and you get all the conference videos. And the conferences were much better in the old days than they are now. Back in the days when Distilled was really growing quickly, instead of, I think they're a little bit more stagnant now compared to the old days. A lot of famous names have left, but back in the kind of era where Lexi Mills worked there was a lot of great content at the conferences that you'd really enjoy now, and you could watch now, and it's still as relevant as it was back then. So
Yeah,
I really like
those videos are actually where I learned originally about the scholarship link building method. That was back
that link love.
that was probably like 2012, 2013, and it wasn't until like 2015 where it's that method started getting spammed everywhere. So for a good 2 years, just watching one video from Distilled that that propelled a couple of my sites pretty far.
Yeah, so the old stuff is fantastic at those. So I don't know if you guys have got any other favorites that you go to for information.
Actually, I have a list right here because
Oh,
you were busting my balls about not reading enough. Jimmy Kelly stuff is great. What else am I reading? I forget the guy's name. The gsqi.com. You follow him on Twitter, I think.
I do, yeah.
That his blog is great. Semantic Mastery. They sell a lot of courses, but when they give out free shit, it's pretty good.
ohmg.co.uk, whatever his name was. He's good.
Yeah. But for the most part, I think
for retro blogs, John Cooper's blog, Point Blank SEO is amazing. He doesn't publish much anymore.
Yeah, the Point Blank SEO course, you can still buy it, and all the strategies in there are still very relevant.
He's one of the smartest people in SEO, John Cooper, by miles. And he straight up said on Twitter he doesn't publish anymore because there's no ROI to him blogging anymore. People
I
just
should have started a better relationship with that guy because I used to chat with him through the chat function in Point Blank, and we had like a lot of similar ideas, but never really took off. But yeah, I think I read a lot of Smart Passive Income when I was getting started, but that's a little bit below what we do now. I don't know what else. I mean, I love Authority Hacker. Those guys are my buds. But if you're a newbie SEO and you want to be a white hat guy, the Authority Hacker Pro course and the free content is great.
Yeah, I hear a lot of good things about Authority Hacker. I know quite a lot of our clients are AH Pro members and stuff. Seems like they've got a really good community going there, and certainly from the people we have exposure to, a lot of them are doing really well. So
yeah, Mark and Gail and Perrin.
Yeah.
And they're really dedicated to being very transparent and just giving you the facts and nothing but the facts. And,
yeah, I really like Perrin.
They back up all of their stuff with actual proof, either through their own case studies or case studies that they, I guess, outsourced or guest posts or what have you. And they're on top of what works now. So
he's a better negotiator than me. Don't negotiate with him; you'll lose.
Yeah, I think he was a poet, or he was like a creative writing major. He's a better writer than I am. I can tell you that.
He's a really smart guy.
Is his brother Stuart?
His brother is Eric. His brother.
Okay. Well,
his brother runs a link building Facebook group, and he has his own a few link building plans himself.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking.
His brother has an awesome life. He's
Eric, right? Yeah.
He just kind of travels. He just travels and lives out of the out of the bag on his back.
I've been following him. I added him. He runs the link building community, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he actually just started getting into it maybe a year or two ago, but he's picked it up real fast, and I think he has a few decent clients now.
To be single and obligation free again.
Yeah.
I say this to you every week. You're live on the air, right, Gary?
None of my family watches. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I don't think this is the topic that interests most people.
All right, we're coming up on 2 hours, so I don't think we have any reviews this week.
No, this week was kind of a special show. We were going to rant about IM scams mostly, so.
Yeah.
I guess really quick, back in the day, I used to use CertFox really quick, or a lot, because they had really quick updates on stuff. But I went back to it after a couple of years because I found that Ahrefs seems to be updating their rank tracker faster than everybody else.
Surfbox or Scrapebox?
SERPFox.
Okay.
It's a really lightweight, simple rank tracker, but I loved it because it was cheap and they updated it very quickly, and it was accurate. But it seems to me that since the last couple of years that I've used it, not as good as it used to be. And I know everything's harder with scrapes, and their price point is so low. They are probably burning through proxies like everybody else so fast that they can't keep updating. So I would still definitely recommend it if you don't have a lot of money to spend. The free version, I think you get like 50 keywords. So if you're just starting out,
That reminded me of Scrapebox. You know, Scrapebox is still very much a powerhouse of a tool if you know how to use it the right way.
We still have one staff member uses it religiously. She loves it. She's the only license we've got still. But
if you go on their website, I don't know if they have like a forum or like a knowledge center on their website. They used to have these articles that taught you, cool slick tricks to use Scrapebox for different things. And those tutorials are actually still very valid for today. So
let me just DuckDuckGo that to wind Vin up with his Google obsession.
Scrapebox is super powerful, but the thing is that within itself, it's just a tool, but you have to know what you want it to do to a very extreme point. Like you can use it to find contact forms and write a certain letter to each contact form based off a template, but you need to be able to write some basic like code to be able to do that, which most internet marketers can't or whatever. But it can be super, super powerful if you know how to use it, and the learning curve just in the interface is difficult.
Yeah, I haven't had a Scrapebox account myself for over 8 years, and just looking at their screenshot, I'm like, oh my god, I have a headache just looking at that interface.
Well, it's just one of these old school desktop applications that works very well, but unless you've been using it religiously, like our staff member has for the last decade, it's like they never really even redesigned the GUI for it over 10 years. It's just been adding on and adding on, and like it's a lot to take in even over a year how to use it, unless you've been following along and know where everything is. And
yeah, you got to watch a lot of YouTube videos and a lot of their tutorials. But the best way to use it is figure it out to fix a specific problem that you have. So if you need, to scrape outreach opportunities, just figure out how to use Scrapebox just to do that. And if you go about it that way, it's a lot less overwhelming than trying to figure out everything that it could do all at one time. Anyway.
Cool.
Do we have a don't tweet this?
I gave you one before, but I'll do it for you if you want.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It's actually yours. I don't know if this was your don't tweet this a couple of weeks ago, but getting links on brand new sites with no domain metrics is actually not bad. It could be pretty powerful for you. So, you don't need to get a link from a site just because it has a DR 30 or above. If it looks like a site that's a real site that's putting out real content and is either new or doesn't have many backlinks, that's going to be a good link for you for relevancy purposes. And over time, as that site becomes more powerful itself, that link is going to gain value over time. So
that's what I really like, actually, is picking up for our own projects a site that's on this kind of graph, but it's below the line most people would consider here, but it's on this trajectory versus a site that's been like this for 5 years and it's added like 10 links. I mean, that one's like DA 40 now, this one's DA 25 now. But that one of them is blowing up. So you're picking up an easy link on a site that's not that fussy yet. They're growing. They haven't got 4 editors yet. It's just the one dude running it or whatever. you can work a deal out with him much easier than in 5 years' time when he's DA 60 and there's 4 editors to speak to, and you can't speak to him for love nor money.
Yeah, and in the age of rank brain, we really don't know how Google evaluates a link like that, because there's nothing shady about that site at all.
No.
And if it's super relevant to the page you're linking to, or your site's topic, we have no idea how powerful that link is. You know, we have all these third-party metrics that tell us how powerful it should be, but we really don't know what, you know, AI and the machine learning, you know, how they're evaluating that link. So, you know, don't shy away from a link with bad metrics. If the site looks legitimate, it's great information, and it appears to be just getting started,
real sites ahead of metrics every time. And the thing as well is, even if you just assume that there's no extra magic going on, you're just relying on it getting worth more in the future. If it's rapidly overtaking people, you're actually getting a more powerful link in the long run, and you're in this for the long run, right? Like, you're not thinking about, yeah, all right, in the short term, I'd be better off getting 3 DA50 links right now, assuming DA was right.
I assume you want to keep making money month after month, not just this month.
Yeah. And you can even run your own little link building campaign targeting just those sites. Look for sites with, you know, 0 metrics but are new, or maybe sites that just popped up on the radar within the last 6 to 12 months. Target them exclusively. I bet you the site owners will be real impressed if somebody wants to put a post on their brand new site. You could probably grab a link, and maybe if you land 100 of those links, you know, 20-30% of them will grow in strength over the next 2 years, and it's only gonna help you more.
I agree. That's a really good one.
Cool, guys.
Yeah.
I think we're all tired and ready for bed.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've done a full show tonight. We're allowed to sign off now, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So coming up, I think next week we'll have a show, but the week following we will not.
Next week I will not be here.
You're not
I
gonna be
don't
here?
think.
Binner, if you want to have a show, we can have a show.
Yeah, I'll do a show with you. Maybe
Get a
we'll
guest
pull
or Jared or
in
somebody.
again. And
I might be able to jump on. I might be able to jump on, but I would
but
say
the 8th,
I'm 50-50.
The 3 of us will all be gone on the 8th. So
me and Jared are doing a new niche site case study. We just announced it on Builder Society today. So maybe we'll talk about that a little bit next week.
Sounds like a good main topic. Give everyone a kind of initial lowdown, and then you can do it as a main topic again in 6 months or something to review how it's gone.
Yeah, we'll do that. And then the following week is Vegas, right?
yes,
We're in Las Vegas.
Steve and I land around midnight. We'll be drinking hard till about 7 in the morning, and then nap time.
Nap time until the registration for the conference at 5 p.m. on Monday.
Aren't one of you going to another conference next week? Is that what you just said? Is that why you're not here next week?
No.
I'm traveling to.
He's going to Philadelphia on Thursday.
Yeah.
Friday.
Thursday.
And
Yeah,
Garrett, you're coming with me to Philly on Tuesday, right?
Honestly, I don't mind spending a lot of money on a last-minute ticket, but the state of normal day-to-day operations is not pleasing me at the moment.
I hear you. It's no problem, man. Yeah, I'm driving down to Philly on Tuesday to support Mr. Nick Eubank.
Does Nick put this on frequently?
This is the launch party, so he's doing a monthly meetup through meetup.com for technical SEO. So every month he's going to have a little.
So we should try and hit the June one up or something if it syncs up with us, because we're going to SMX Advanced in June. If we can kind of sync the two up, if it's close enough, we should do the June one for sure.
There's always people for me to see in Philadelphia, anyways, so I'm happy to go out there.
Cool.
Yeah, we have a lot of people out there now, clients and stuff in that area. It seems like it's a hub of digital activity at the minute, Philadelphia.
Yeah, we got our guys in Lancaster and Quarryville in the cornfields, and a lot of guys in Philly proper.
I think at one time we wrote a page of 3,000 words content for every city within 2 hours of Philadelphia.
Yep,
Now,
we did.
the permutations update killed that, didn't it?
This was a long time ago.
A long time ago. Back when Garrett was just starting this company at 12.
Yes.
It was funny
18
taking
years
him to
ago.
meetings, though. He still had to have, like, those raids you put kids on. I had to put them on him before we took him into
Yeah, Daddy Steve here.
He was wearing his dad's suit, so his arms didn't come out of the.
He used to wear such cute little suits when he was 12, I tell you.
Yeah.
All
All right. Anyways.
right, I think that's it.
Yep. Thanks for joining us once again. 26 official episodes. That means we're into it for half a year, give or take. I think we skipped a few weeks, but it's cool. We'll be here next week. After that, don't show up because we won't be here. But take it easy.
Take
All right,
it easy,
guys.
everyone.
See you next week. Take care.
Yep. Later. Bye.
Bye.